I didn't think we'd go into 6 videos.
I didn't erase
today.
it this time.
Good. That means I can keep track of what video I'm on. Week 5, or video 5. So we'll keep walking through these videos.
And ultimately what we'll do,
But
techniques
techniques
like this allow us to do a screen-driven program.
All right?
Now, I know that these techniques had to be beat into my head. What does that mean, Peter? Actually, it can save you a whole lot of headaches.
Practice them a lot?
You got to
Really
practice them. You really do. You've got to practice them. In my particular case, it matters not to me if you've got a module that's filled with a whole bunch of empty defs because I built my skeleton and I kept my defs in the skeleton. If it matters to somebody, if you go out on a job and a guy looks at it and says, "Why'd you leave all these empty defs?"
Techniques are going to be gone.
They're not going to affect anything.
Rewriting code,
You might want
rewriting
to
code, and rewriting code, and
have a
rewriting
feel
code.
for your work
You're
part,
only going to go nuts.
and you might pull them all out.
You don't have to.
But the plain fact of the
You can
matter
address
is, they're
the
not going to
problem,
hurt anything.
which is what the
So
focus of a data
it doesn't
structures
matter,
class is.
not to me at least.
And not
It
necessarily
also allows
the
me
code.
some versatility.
If you have a decent collection
is
of
6
code,
months down
you
the
can go
road,
out there and
I
grab
want to
that
add
code,
something,
run with it,
I've got a
use
place
it
to
and
add
run
it
with it.
and keep going.
So it comes
Okay.
in handy that way.
But that's not for everybody. A good
Believe
rule
me,
of thumb
I
is
put
you
a lot of-
decide what you might need stuffed away in
I
a
know you don't
module
believe this, but I
and
put a lot of
develop
thought in my
module and
lectures.
put it in there. Especially since they've
Another
been cut
good
down
rule
to
is
2
when you write
hours,
code,
and I have to do things a little
don't
different.
write code when code. Oh, then you program.
Don't write
code when code can write it.
Get
for
rid of
you.
your empty diffs if you want to. See, I screw up my way. The real goal is to make things as easy as possible for you. Like that module I showed
Do
you.
I look like I'm going
screens.
backwards?
Use it. What you don't want to do is to overcomplicate the
Don't
process.
write
code when you can get something.
Overcomplicating the
that's already tested
process
that writes
means
code
that you've got
for you.
17 different.
It's easy to write
inputs out
code.
there.
It's hard to debug it, and you can't get something to run, so you try a different input.
already got
Try a
something
different
that will
input.
write some code
You
for
can't
you.
do that.
Neatly and
You have to
organized.
get something
you don't
running,
have to
get it
debug
running well.
Can you
and
see
test
this?
it inside the module itself.
It sounds kind of stupid,
and
doesn't
then
it?
try to run it. Code writing code. I mean, how hard can writing code be? It's not how hard can writing code be. It's how
build a
productive
tool,
can you
build
be
it to
when
do
you
one
write code. One thing only. If you go back to that screen, and if you
Screen
module I showed
constantly
you,
making
that
stupid
had the
mistakes
first,
like leaving
first
colons
line
off.
the first line,
And
the header
you
line
will.
of the screen.
It will drive you.
All
will
it
drive you
did was
bananas.
structure
the whole idea is to
structure
keep
the
your
header
hair on
line
your
and
head.
then replace it
Nobody
with data
wants
that
to
it
look
grabbed
like me.
from a flat file somewhere.
This is also part of learning to write tools. Everybody needs to learn to write tools. Tools are things that come in handy.
This-
that you
this-
carry around on a thumb drive.
This
that are
is a
gonna
good
help you
example.
write
This
your
is the
code.
example I used. Wow, I
Uh,
can't believe I did that. Right. This
There's a
is
scripting
actually your
language
line.
associated
This
with
is the
IBM
line you
mainframes
put out
called
there.
sync
You'll
sort.
notice I put
Nobody knows sync sort.
a comment on
Nobody.
top.
God doesn't
with
know
a
sync
measurement.
sort. It's
Why?
so complicated.
Because I don't
But
want to exceed
you can write a whole
79
bunch of
characters
small
across the
scripted
screen.
tools in what they call recs.
I only want to go out 78.
I don't know. I haven't used recs in
I
a
throw a
long
bunch
time.
of Q's in there.
That
Why do I
run
throw
your
Q's?
sync sort commands.
Because I
List
can
your
use
sync sort
the
commands
replace
in a
verb
nice
Python,
organized fashion.
replace it with
and
the
they
project
always
name
work.
that I got from someplace else,
And the integrity
they're
of my
commands that have been
spacing
tested
stays the
before.
same.
and Rex just sends the commands to the machine, and you keep them
follow
handy
me?
on a thumb drive.
Automation is
Otherwise,
not
the
an
author
easy
thing
thing
would
to
move,
see.
and
Sometimes
you
it's a
can't have the
difficult
author
thing
thing
to
move.
see.
You
But
need the
automation
integrity. So
sure
that
as hell
sets it
beats writing
aside.
every
Now,
line of code.
if I put a name out there that's more Q's
follow me?
than I've got posted, and why do I use Q? Because it's
You
the
can say
most
that you write code that generates code.
infrequently
Okay, I do
used
that.
letter
I've been
in
doing that for
the
years.
Build
Alphabet.
a tool when you can use one. You can't always build a tool.
Our alphabet.
Don't get lost in this
I don't know.
concept that, oh, I
You
can
don't
build a
have
tool
to
to do that
now,
for me.
please,
You
do you?
can't always build a tool. But for very simple
Pardon?
processes, you can build a
Yeah,
tool.
totally different.
And when you build a tool, you can take
No.
that tool at the risk of saying,
around
I
with
want
you
to put
and
some,
it will
save you a whole lot of misery.
Same alphabet?
At the risk of using some obscure
Making a
alphabet
tool that
that
will
nobody
reduce the
understands.
number
I
of
use
keys
the
the
word,
letter
letter
Q.
consequently
And
reduces
everybody
your errors.
knows there is no
Your
such
errors
word
aren't
as
going to be
Q,
in,
Q,
in,
Q,
in,
Q,
in,
Q,
in
Q, Q,
logic
Q,
more
Q,
often
Q,
than
right?
that. Your errors will be in coding.
I could have used
left
a.
out- you left the colon. You misspelled something like that. Something that's...
I didn't. I used
Everybody
Q
does.
because it's the most infrequently
That's
used
what
letter
letter
in
a tool can help
American
you with.
alphabet, or the English Western
Uh,
European alphabet that we
errors
become comfortable.
We'll be typing, not
I don't even
logic.
know what our alphabet is called.
Just makes sense
But
that
it's-
you limit these errors as much as
Makes
possible.
sense. So it maintains your integrity.
All right, now this
See
goes
this?
out to
I
my
said
work-
each line
work
has
file
to have a
again.
screen
The one-
number.
The one you couldn't see.
Each line in my screens changes.
That's what
if you'll
this thing, you
notice
see it
right
now?
here.
Can you see it now? Huh?
Yeah. This goes out to my
Down
work.
here,
That's
I've
not
got
a
a
screen
particularly
name. I got
complicated
another bunch of
file, is it?
cues. This is
Agree
my
with that?
second
Is it
line in my
complicated?
screen. My
Yeah.
screen right here. See this screen right
No,
here?
it's not
This
complicated.
increments
There's
itself.
nothing wrong with it.
So if I have
my
75 more
And
screens,
then I
it's
take
going to
my
keep
skeleton
adding
and
on
work
to
with
it.
it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is all done and working within
Well,
an Excel
that's what you
spreadsheet.
need to ask me
Why?
for.
Because it checks the length on one side and allows me to
Ask
keep
what
it
you
around
don't know
30
and keep
characters.
going, but
And two,
ask loud
it
enough
allows
so
to
everybody
increment
can
it so
hear,
that I
not,
can
"I
walk through
can't
it.
see
Oh
that."
my God! I've just saved myself a ton of headaches. What don't you?
You don't.
What
see it
don't
right
you?
now,
What
do you?
don't you understand?
Honestly. Well, I have to put 6 lectures a week together.
FO.
Think about it.
File open, file close. That's an old convention. That's just an old convention.
Or else I'd go nuts. PowerPoint
I should maybe
lines
say
alone, I'd
file,
make
F-I-L-E,
PowerPoint slides.
open, but I don't.
If you find your utility,
Right,
if you find
that's
your
correct.
individual
Why would I
diffs
want to extend it?
inside
Excuse
of
me
your
a minute. I
utility
have a
getting
phone call.
around 30 lines,
It's from
you
Deerfield
need to
Beach,
split
Florida.
that up.
These are people calling
Okay,
me
your
about
module can
Medicare.
call as many modules inside that module as it wants to.
Well, let's answer them.
So it adds to your ability. It
Hello.
makes it work a little bit.
How are you?
If it's over 30 lines, you really want to sit down and consider splitting it up. You may need 30
I'm doing
lines,
fine. Don't call me again. I've
More
said
often
this
than
like
not.
8 times.
but- Okay? I use 30 lines just as a
God,
key.
you know, put things into perspective, folks.
And I'm frozen again. Be damned. I don't know why I froze.
My wife yells at me when I pick up the phone and start to swear at them in French. She says they might understand
No.
you. No, that's all that is. That's just a convention
You know why
I
I'm
use
freezing?
for
I'm
years.
freezing
FO
because
open,
the mouse
FO
moves.
right, FO. That means
This
file
mouse,
open, or file operation. It's just something I've
This
used
mouse
for years. You
switches
might
position on the
sit
screen.
down and write down file rights, or write file.
Driver.
Let's just jump out to the end. Oh, take a look at the number. You've done the
I
reading
told
on
you the
files,
number
I take
changes.
it. You've done the reading
My
on
wife
files,
didn't
I
believe that
take
when
it.
she first saw it.
You've done the readings on files, I take it. I gave it to you about 2 weeks ago. She goes through these things, and do you know what
my
she
gosh.
checks for? Spelling. It's yes,
You
I
know,
have an
don't
editor.
ask
me to remember. I done give it to you and
She
forgot.
didn't know she was signing on.
But I
for
know
that
I
when she
gave it to
married
you.
me, but
You-
she did.
We were
You
at
should have already
152.
the readings on files, but those are just conventions I use. And if you need to debug this program, just
we
pull
are.
it up on your
Kill it.
screen, sit there and look at it,
keep
and
moving.
walk
Some
through
rules
it.
to keep
and
in
do
mind.
it
Keep
in
things
another
simple.
browser so that
Don't
you can freeze
overcomplicate it.
It's
Two.
not gonna go
Every diff you
anywhere.
build, put
And
in
that's all this
put a
does.
comment in the
This
doc
just
string.
writes
That way it always acts as an index. If
a
you build
skeleton.
a diff and you don't put a comment
That's
in the
it.
doc string,
Just a skeleton.
then you
And it doesn't
you're
have
making
to
a
be
huge mistake.
particularly beautiful,
Okay.
but it fits the
If the
nomenclature
diff
or the structure I
procedure
like
is over
to
30
use.
lines, consider breaking
And
it
the
up.
only thing
That
you
doesn't
have to
mean at
change in
31
this is
lines,
this
you have
right
to break
here.
it up into two.
Because this is going
15
to tell
and a
you what your
16
file out
line
is
thing.
and what
But
you're going to
if
call
it's
your
over 30
skeleton.
lines and it looks like it's getting increasingly complicated, you need to break it up into smaller
Close
routines.
this.
Keep it small and keep
next
it
screen.
lovely.
Let's
Test each
take a look at my
procedure
utility
inside the module.
CIS126 file.
I don't even remember what that is.
If you test each procedure
I wrote
inside
inside
the
the
module,
module, then you're sure it's going to work
But-
outside the module when you use it as an import. Does that make sense?
it should be here.
That might sound really silly, but that's what you do.
Oh,
you
I
test
know where
each
that is.
procedure
It's
in the
in another
module.
folder.
Keep your eye open for
And I don't have
routines
access
that
to
you're
it right
using
now.
all the time.
Right. You're on my
Take those
computer.
routines and stick them in a module. Be they a print routine, be them a structure routine, whatever it is.
I keep that
Keep an eye
in
open
my
for it, 'cause
Python
you're only
code
gonna use it again.
repository. Why?
So why are you sitting there?
I don't write code anymore.
Why would I
without
keep
Google
it there?
Because I forget so much. And I will sit there and I'll spin my
So
wheels.
I know where to find it. I can carry it around.
You don't want to
with me.
spin your wheels.
And this is what it looks like.
Eliminate the error.
This has
by
a whole
doing
bunch of
simple
files
stuff.
in it. And
I
one
think
of the
this is a
things
good
that
place to
a lot of
stop.
people don't seem to
Let's take a
realize
look. The
is
lab
if you
this week
sit
is
there
to
and the
build a
first thing you
module
do
that
when
will
you
take
go
your
to
screen
add
files
something,
and convert them into a Python module.
you need to type
You've got
in
25 different screens out there.
Control F,
Build a module that reads
brings up a
everything at
find.
one time,
The place I'm going to add is CSVH.
which is all
So I can
concatenated.
type in here
Okay. You're gonna need-
CSVH.
How many screens are you going to need to run your project that you come up with?
Find next.
Yeah,
And it's going to
start-
drop
this
me
is-
down
this
to
is the fun.
CSVH so
We're
that I'm
working on
not
it
going
now.
scroll madness.
What'd you think? You just
And
don't
I
do
can go
anything in
back
there?
up to CSVH and I simply
mean,
change the data in
How many
CSVH
screens? do
or
you think
whatever
you're
I'm going to
gonna
add. I
come up
add
with
my
over the
records,
last
the
week
fields
that
I
you
need to
think
go, and my comments, and then I do a CSVH and I move my comments up to my
Start, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a start.
doc
So how many
string, and
screens
bingo,
do you
bango,
want
and
your
beads,
screens?
there it is. And we can go
Four.
out there and we
But
can
what if
look
you
at
need
these
10?
things very easily
You could always add more.
You can add them.
by
That's
going
the
into
whole
my
idea.
ZT help.
All your screen files go in the screen
I don't know why I
module.
called it ZT help this time.
That way,
CSV2
you know where to
and
go
running
when
it.
you've got a screen. Because what
Now,
will
when it
happen
gives
is
me
you'll
a
have so many
squeezed
screens
text
out
like
there,
this,
so
that
many
means
different
it's got
modules
too
out
many
there,
lines in
you
there.
will be naming
Just
them
click
out
on that
obscure
and
location.
bingo, it drops it
And
down.
you won't mean to.
So my skeleton is
You
built.
won't mean to.
I now have an
And that's
index
okay.
built, and I know what I'm looking at. I can now scrape names, and I know this takes a little bit of
So that's
practice.
your process.
This
It
isn't
doesn't
going to
need
come
be
with you
complicated.
overnight.
If you need help,
And-
take
and
the
I
time,
would be an
review the
idiot to
videos.
say
There
it
should be
does.
some hidden gems.
I
Well,
can now
see?
scrape names and make things work a little bit better, and it's a little bit
Hidden
more
gems in
organized. Not only that,
And
as I'm
basically,
developing
that's the end of
code,
our
by
lecture
keeping this
tonight.
particular thing open, if I want to look at what screens look like, I can
And
go
that's
out
it.
there and do help screens, and it's going to pull up what my screens are. And I can do it just, well, let's just see. I have no idea what US screens are. Why? Why don't I have any idea? Because I wrote them so long ago, I've forgotten. Oh my God, I've forgotten something. But there I have a blank screen. That's my screen module. So I can build my screens there. I can do whatever I want in this, and it works well. And it's an approach to a program. Let's freeze this. Let's go back to video 5 and let's make video 6.